श्री उत्तम सिंह जी, श्री राकेश रंजन जी, डॉक्टर चंदेर सिंह जी, श्री AP डिमरी जी, यहाँ पर उपस्थित हमारे परमादरणीय श्याम बरांडे जी और सभी गणमान्य एक्सपर्ट्स, प्रोफेशनल्स, रिसर्चर्स, स्टेक होल्डर्स and distinguished participants. At the outset, I would like to profusely thank our respected and versatile genius Sri Shyam Parande ji for inviting me for participating in this so very important, interesting and engrossing hymn samvad, which is one of its own kind. I am sure and confident that the deliberations, recommendations and Arunachal resolution will go a long way in resolving and addressing the complex, intricate and sensitive issues and challenges being faced by the vulnerable communities, our own brothers and sisters living in the distantly and remotely located hilly areas in these Himalayan states. The multidisciplinary, community and society-based and holistic approach, Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas and Sabka Vishwas, which has been deliberated and advocated by all the experts and distinguished speakers, will definitely sort out and settle the problems, deficiencies and gaps in these two very important sectors in the Himalayan region through effective and sustainable strategies. Why this issue matters? Kyunki jal hi jeevan hai, water is life, yet the very source of life is under threat. Today we all gather here not just to discuss, but to act, to call for a Sankalp Se Siddhi, from intent to impact, to safeguard this water lifeline against the rising tide of climate change. I would like to put the whole issue in a perspective and would divide the whole issue into 5 parts. Firstly, the challenges being faced. Then I would touch upon briefly the Jal Jeevan mission. Then the experiences and the ground realities, legal and policy interventions made by the states, and lastly, the way forward. The first challenge which we are facing is pertaining to the disappearing springs, that is the vanishing lifelines. Once perennial, sweet and pure springs, jharne or dharaएं, that have sustained our mountain villages for centuries are now drying up. As per Niti Aayog's report, nearly 50% of springs in the Indian Himalayan region have dried or show significantly reduced discharge. In Arunachal Pradesh, evidences from districts like Leparada, Tirap, Changlang, Longding, etc. confirm this crisis. Spring-fed streams are vanishing, perennial sources are turning seasonal, impacting not just humans, but also the wildlife in our forests. The second one is the glacial retreat and climate impact. A joint study has shown that Arunachal Pradesh has lost 110 glaciers between 1988 and 2020. The study was conducted by Nagaland University's Department of Environmental Science and Guwahati-based Cotton University's Department of Environmental Biology and Wildlife Sciences. The study was published in the Journal of Earth System Science. Glaciers that feed the Ganga, Yamuna and Brahmaputra rivers are receding at alarming rates, with glacial melt contributing just 16% of Himalayan water flow. It is the springs that remain the primary source and they are in peril. The third one is unplanned infrastructure and groundwater exploitation. Road building, hydro projects and unregulated groundwater tapping have irreversibly damaged recharge zones. Excessive trenching during road cuttings lead to spring sources shifting, often drying completely. The fragile hydrology of mountains is being disrupted with no formal mechanism yet to map and protect spring sheds. Having spoken about the challenges in brief, I would like to dwell upon Jal Jeevan mission, which is a milestone mission in itself. We should be extremely grateful and thankful to our Honorable and Visionary Prime Minister for implementing this mission, which has definitely empowered our women force. Jal Jeevan mission has had a profound gender and generational impact in the Himalayan region, directly contributing to SDG 6, clean water and sanitation. By ensuring water availability at the household level, it has ended the age-old drudgery being faced by women folk who trekked steep terrains daily to fetch water. With tap water connections, women are now able to engage in income-generating activities, community leadership through village water and sanitation committees, and skill development. Young girls who earlier missed school to assist their mothers now enjoy uninterrupted education, leading to a generational shift in opportunity and empowerment. Stress in drinking water sources in Himalayas came into highlight mainly due to Jal Jeevan Mission. Thanks to the Jal Jeevan Mission, almost the entire rural households in Arunachal Pradesh now have tap water. This is a monumental achievement. However, we are also having some problems. In some areas, the new water connections have unintentionally led to over-extraction, depleting the fragile sources. And traditional Panyara, gravity-based sustainable natural traditional systems have been replaced with overdrawn piped system. Availability of water in some cases has led to wasteful usage. Now I would like to share some experiences and ground realities. The first one is Mustang in Nepal, which was a shared crisis. We have seen news from the Mustang region in Nepal, wherein entire villages were abandoned due to spring depletion. Similar early warnings are emerging from Arunachal Pradesh, Uttarakhand, Sikkim, and many other states. The second one is Igam Basar project, a beacon of hope. Igam Basar project, which has been implemented in Leparada, a remarkable and an individual-led model for spring rejuvenation. Faced with a dry period and water crisis at Bolen Spring of Soi village, Leparada district, Mr. Igam Basar initiated revival of the water source starting around 2010 with 500 plus percolation pits, trenches, and constructing check dams in the catchment area without waiting for any formal funds. Then we have the example of Ladakh's ice stupa. Now, I will also briefly touch on the legal and policy interventions. In 2023, Arunachal Pradesh enacted the Arunachal Pradesh Protection of Drinking Water Catchment Areas Act, placing the community at the heart of water source governance. Now, villages are now legally empowered to safeguard their catchments. Then, Meghalaya has already passed the Catchment Area Protection Act in 1990. Mizoram enacted its Water Resources Regulation Act in 2024. And Uttarakhand now has a Spring and River Rejuvenation Authority. The way forward is we should map, monitor, manage, and put in place a scientific spring atlas. We must begin by creating a spring registry at the village level, using GPS tools, community inputs, and hydrological science. We should ensure hydrogeological mapping of spring sets, and we should stress and encourage community-based maintenance of these spring sheds through village water and sanitation committees formed under JJM. Further, this spring registry should be integrated with Jal Jeevan Mission's IMIS platform. We must understand that while infrastructure is vital, awareness is transformative. So we should also somehow have some behavioral change and a solid IEC campaign. We are aware that use of water for flushing and washing now exceeds daily consumption norms. We need a robust IEC campaign, not just messages, but campaigns that build empathy and responsibility. Thirdly, we should have a sound institutional and financial mechanisms in place. In this regard, we can have convergence with Manrega for trenching and recharging. We can have a dedicated mechanism for wastewater disposal, and we can also have district level spring conservation plans in all Himalayan states. Further, we should empower the VWSCs and local governance. Lastly, I would like to mention that a silent yet serious risk emerging in hilly areas is hill slope liquefaction, exacerbated by widespread use of septic pits combined with unregulated wastewater discharge. I finally conclude with the Himalayan oath. Let us conclude with this thought. No jalam, no jivanam. Without water, there is no life. No sanskaram, no samriddhi. Without tradition, no prosperity. And let this conference be a turning point. Let all Himalayan states rise in one voice. We commit to protect every spring, every drop, every life. We will manage our water our way, rooted in science, culture, and community. Thank you. Jai Hind, Jai Arunachal.